Let's talk about Layla. She, uh, hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chantel, and today we're gonna discuss Grand Army. I finished that show in like 2 days. Like, it's a really good series, but I have to preface this because I didn't know that they kicked some of the people of color writers off of the show right before it aired or something. I'm just gonna say my friend recommended it to me and I watched it and it was good. I ain't know all the drama behind it, so do not come for me talking about you support what they did to the writers because I don't know the whole story. I don't know what's going on. But let's get into it. So first person I'm going to talk about is Owen, and I just feel so bad for him. And one thing about Grand Army in general, it was very realistic to like what things would like how things would actually happen in a high school. At least like some of the characters or some of the things that happen to characters I could see happen at my old high school or like in high schools in general. So like Owen getting 60 days, although it was like that was very harsh for them just to be playing around. And he didn't even steal the money, like somebody else stole the money. And they also paid old girl Dom back. So it's like why would he get 60 days for literally playing around with a friend? But anyway, like him getting 60 days was not a shock to me because they used to suspend and give detentions and all this other stuff for like the silliest stuff, especially if you're black. So I wasn't shocked at all. But I felt really bad for Owen and I felt bad for the just the what's that boy's name? Um what's Owen's friend's name? Oh my gosh. I'm sorry.
Jason.
I felt bad for Owen and Jason, but Jason, I hate to say it, I think he got away with it because Owen was like living in the projects like low class where Jason was like middle class, maybe upper middle class. So he probably got away with it more because of what his family status was. But also, I don't know. Jason's story wasn't like I wasn't that interested. Like besides the other stories, that I wasn't that interested in Jason because it was like okay, whatever. Like you're about to play the sax in your friend's place. I'm glad what he did what he did at the end, like putting the tape on his mouth. But it was very like performative. Like Owen's still in suspension. Like you could have I feel like Jason could have done a lot more a lot sooner. I think he waited too late for everything because he could have done something where Owen would be able to play or get Owen a lesser suspension sentence. I don't know. I just wasn't crazy about Jason's storyline. It was kind of boring compared to everybody else's. Okay, next person is Joey. At first I was like, okay, here's the feminist white girl who really just really performative actions like Frida nipple, all that kind of thing. And you know it's really crazy. She didn't any trouble for the Frida nipple thing or being disrespectful in class, but Owen really didn't do anything and he got suspension. And honestly, neither of them should have gotten in trouble. I don't think Joey should have gotten in trouble for what she did either because that teacher was just a mess. But at first I thought Joey was going to be kind of how they portrayed her out to be is just, all feminist and no action or just like silly things. But when episode 3 happened, I was just like, you can't. First of all, I really like the way that they portrayed it because you have this girl and she's like all over the place, da da da. And I really think it highlighted the fact that they said like 7 out of 10 sexual assault cases are like somebody you know. And I really like that they made her out to be this like fast girl. Basically, they made her out to be fast, but that it really like I cried, obviously. It was really like, I don't want to jump to conclusions just because of what this girl did, but you should never discount somebody's story because of what they went through. Like, Layla was discounting her story the whole season, and I was like, you're really, you're not in her shoes. You don't know what she went through. You were not in the cab. And don't get me started on Tim, because y'all know how y'all are with your friends, and it's like you're sitting here watching it happen and you're not saying anything, and then at the very last minute you want to, well, it's true. What's that gonna do? Go to the police, do something. Like, I hope, like, if they do have a next season, I hope he actually turns them in, because it's definitely like word of mouth. And when the police called about saying there's no evidence, that's really how it is in real life. Like, they can't do anything if it's one person against three people, which is really sad. But yeah, I felt really bad for Joey, because there was like one part where she was like, I'm gonna lose everything because of this, and I didn't do anything wrong. Like, she's literally the victim. She didn't do anything wrong, and the guys are, it pisses me off, because like the guys are just back at school. They didn't get in trouble. They got arrested. They didn't, charges weren't pressed, so it was just like they're back in school. Nothing has changed for them. They're still like, if we're talking about like in real life, they're still just gonna, this is just nothing to them, and it changed her whole life. It ruined her whole life. She stopped singing. I mean, not singing. She stopped dancing, and she was saying like she went through all this at the hospital for what? Like, you made me go through this torture and pain for what? I don't know. It was really sad, but I thought it was, I like the way that the show portrayed it, because it always seems like in entertainment and in shows is they have this notion of the strange man on the block, or a black man, a Hispanic man, a person of color. No, these were white high schoolers, and they were white high schoolers, and they were her friends. It was somebody that she knew. And I don't want to hear, oh, well, she was wearing that shirt, and oh, she acts like this, she acts like that. You see, it really doesn't matter. And they're like, she never said no, but she literally said, please quit, and she literally was crying. So I don't know. That was, if I'm being honest, that was like the most powerful part of the season. Even though it was like very hard to watch and very hard to sit through, I'm not gonna lie, I was crying like every episode, because it was just so sad. It was very sad. Let's talk about Layla. She she was an interesting character, to say the least. I don't know, she's very, you could tell. I'm glad they made her a freshman, because it was definitely freshman vibes from her the whole season. Like, she doesn't know what she's doing. And also, I didn't like the cartoon scenes. I thought that was weird. I don't think they should have put that in there. I saw some tweets and they're like, they should have left that out, and I completely agree, because it was just like, okay, this is kind of weird. But Layla in general is definitely attention hogging, narcissistic, and she's also just a ninth grader. Like, I could see ninth graders acting like that. Like, and just the way she would like apologize to people. It's just like, basically she's like, oh, I'm sorry that you feel that way. Basically, she never took like accountability for her actions. So there's that. The biggest thing about Layla with the bomb threat, I thought I thought there's gonna be like an actual bomb, and like, you know, it was gonna go a completely different direction. But obviously she just wanted attention, and then you did all that for attention, and I mean, nobody knows it was you, so I didn't know what the point was. But yeah, I think she's definitely my least favorite character as far as personalities. She's very interesting. Sid, I liked his storyline a lot. I thought it was interesting that I thought it was really interesting that they actually thought about how actual high schoolers act now, because nobody's really outwardly homophobic in high school right now, because it's really gotten to the point where it's like, it used to be cool to be homophobic, but now it's like, are you stupid? Like, why are you making fun of somebody because they're gay? It's the same way, like, nobody makes fun of people with disabilities anymore, because it's like, you're so insensitive, like, that's so rude. And it should have always been that way, but, people are stupid. But yeah, I thought it was interesting how, like, nobody really cared that he came out, because it was like, there's 100, they literally said there's like 100 kids that are out at our school, so I mean, who cares? But it's the parents who were homophobic and didn't even want to say the word gay, and it's just like, he's gay. And then he even came into this restaurant and was like, I'm gay, but I'm gonna help you clean up the dishes, so you can either deal with it or we can talk about it later. And I think it's interesting about just, that aspect of the season, because it's really the older generation that's homophobic, in my opinion. You have a few homophobic people in our generation, but it's really our older generation that's homophobic, an interesting part. But I did like Sid a lot, and I know if they have a season 2, I doubt he'll be in there, but I would really like to see Mira in season 2, because I liked her personality. Mira is his sister, if you don't remember. But I really liked her personality. I think she should be in season 2 if Sid goes on and graduates and go to Harvard. Okay, now to my favorite character. Oh my gosh, I love Dom so much. I really do. And I felt so bad about her situation. Honestly, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't think about the green card situation at the beginning of the season. Like, I didn't know what they were saying the $10,000 were for, but I thought it was something way worse than an arranged marriage. I thought they were going to, like, sell her. I don't know what I thought, but I didn't know it was going to be an arranged marriage. But also, I thought that was really crazy. But I understand why they would have to do it. But yeah, I really did like Dom's character, and I love that she was so smart, and she wanted to be into mental health. I was like, okay, come on, mental health, queen. She was also a little hard-headed, especially when it came to John Ellis, and I know she wants to be independent, but I was so glad to see that couple, and I like that they stayed together, because I was going to be mad if it was like, John Ellis just couldn't hang because of all that's going on. And I would have been even madder if she had to get stuck in that arranged marriage. So I'm glad it was a happy ending, finally. I was glad that everything really worked out for her. I think it was really interesting that they moved past the fact that there is a bomb. Like, the teachers and faculty cared, but the students were just like, oh, whatever, it was a bomb. But that's kind of how it is in real life. Like, when there's a mass shooting or a bomb, we talk about it in class, but as far as like social interactions, we don't really necessarily dive into it. So I guess it wasn't that weird, but also they went to a party the night of the bomb, and I'm just like, y'all not a little scared? Y'all not? I really liked Grand Army. I would give it a 8 out of 10. I guess some of the storylines I wasn't as invested in. So Jason's storyline I was not as invested in. Layla's storyline, I just didn't like her, let's be honest. So yeah, those two, they kind of brought the score down a little bit. But I think overall it was a good show. Like, I finished it in 2 days, like I said before. It was a good little show. So yeah, hopefully there's a season 2. If there is a season 2, hopefully they keep Dom. Like I said, add Mira. Hopefully George and Luke have moved on. But I would like to see what happens to Joey. And I just hope this isn't like a 1-season thing like some of these shows are. Hopefully it gets renewed. But yeah, if y'all watch Grand Army, comment down below what y'all thought about the characters, who you hated, who you liked, and if y'all really want a season 2, if it was even good to you. But anyway, I'll see y'all next week. Bye! Like, comment, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes.